Greetings, I'm Rajiv and I made AnytimeTeacher AI as I felt that most edtech tools are designed by engineers who were excellent students, but they rarely came across the struggles a teacher goes through every day in class. In this video, I'll walk you through to let you know how we use AI to support teacher. The tool is hosted at ai.anytimeteacher.com. Click on Sign in with Google. I will use a new account to help those who are coming on the site for the first time. When you log in for the first time, it will ask you to choose your role. I am clicking on Teacher. It will give you a walkthrough, which I am skipping. On the dashboard that appears, you click to upload the PDF of the chapter for which you want to generate the lesson plan. As the lesson plan for poetry is different than the lesson plan for prose or the lesson plan for science and math, it will scan for the kind of material that you have uploaded. But still, it will ask you to confirm. The chapter that we uploaded is an NCRT chapter which contains both prose and poetry. We'll click on we'll select the poetry part. You can opt for fast method by clicking on quick generate where it will take default values, but I am going to choose customize further and personalize. I'll increase the number of periods to 6, but I will reduce the time for each period as 30 minutes. My student profile, I'll go for top achievers, and my school is a high-end school. And in additional teacher notes, I'll enter challenge my students with a thoughtful lesson plan. And now I generate a personalized lesson plan. This step takes time, around 90 seconds to 2 minutes, but you need to do it only once. Later on, you will be able to regenerate parts of the lesson plan or you will be able to edit. I'll speed up the video for this part or I'll edit it. Once the lesson plan is generated, you need to view your plan to see the richness that it provides. I'll skip the tour. It has split this chapter into subtopics, which you can use later on to generate tests on a particular subtopic. There are few tabs in this lesson plan that has been generated. It talks about the poet, the theme, recitation guide, where all you need to take a pause. For example, before the final line, it's silences, stanza by stanza analysis. You need to go through it. It provides a very rich input to the teacher. Poetic devices, vocabulary, and discussion questions. We'll come to this download part later. The second tab is about prerequisites and the learning outcomes. We'll take these learning outcomes class-wise for every period when we come to the class schedule. It has already started mapping the contents to different levels of Bloom's taxonomy. Class schedule. This part is the implementation of Maslow's theory to generate confidence of students before you start teaching them something challenging. Every period has an entry ticket, mentor moments where you can connect in a human way to your students, your teaching flow, and what you need to write on the blackboard script, social learning where you can allow your students to talk to each other, and an exit ticket with homework assignment. Now, all these questions that you ask as part of entry ticket, exit ticket, etc., they can be assigned as a homework test with a single click. Every period will have these features. Then there are activities that you can do, and for each period, it generates where different activities can be employed. There is a unit assessment. You can view its questions. It has mapped them to different levels of bloom. You can use it as such, or you can create a variant of it using AI to help you. I will create a class and name it 11A, and I will assign this lesson plan to my class 11A. I can choose to show my lesson plan to the students, or I can click to hide the lesson plan from the students. I will choose to show my lesson plan to the students. I can change the name of the lesson plan, which by default was the name of the PDF that we uploaded. I'll call it chapter 1. And before I move on to the students part, I'll generate a test on this chapter. I can select the full chapter, or I can select any sub part. Now I want to take a test only on the photograph part. To simplify Bloom's level, we have given two options. The basics one generates questions on the first 3 to 4 levels of Bloom. The mastery level generates questions on the top 3 to 4 levels of Bloom. I'll go for basics. Once again, it will take little time to generate the test. Once the test is generated, I can edit, select, deselect any question or change its marks, but I will choose to first finalize and assign basic test on chapter 1, and I'll assign it to a class, and then I can choose to edit it later. I can generate more questions, and I can generate questions on any level of Bloom. I can edit these questions. Now, before I move out, I will copy the class code which will be used by the student to join this class of mine. I will now log out and join as a student. And when I join as a student, I need to enter that class code to join the class which the teacher shared with me. Now in my classes, I will also be able to see the class 11A, which I joined just now. And because the teacher decided to share her lesson plan, I'll be able to view her lesson plan also. Everything in it. Class by class work, all the class schedule, I'll be able to see that because the teacher decided to share the lesson plan. The student can also use AI to generate tests for practice. We'll select the chapter which was assigned in recently. We named it chapter 1. We can go for full chapter, but we will go for the poetry part. Then how many questions? We'll select the total number of questions as 5. MCQ will go for 3. It will automatically set subjective as a 2. And we'll choose the purpose as basic, which decides the level of bloom on which the questions will be generated. This step again takes little time, and I'll edit or speed up this part of the video. Once the test is generated, it will appear in my chapter and tests. This is my self-generated test. I can take these tests. And now before I close this short video, I'll show you how we analyze the performance of a child and help teacher support the child. I'll go to analysis, and the analysis tab has 4 options. The analysis by test, I can pick up any test and analyze it. By student, say you select a class, select a student, and it generates the analysis. And you need to see the kind of rich inputs it provides to the teacher to help a child. What to do with this child? In this week, what all can be done? The suggested activities and what to say to this child. Now, the performance report for this child, strengths, the areas for improvement, remedial suggestions, and the test that this child has taken, that test must be having only these levels of Bloom. On those levels, how is this child performing? You can leave notes for the child in various areas, and the analysis of this child will take into consideration the attendance that you might have marked for this class and the notes that you might have left for this child. There is much more to this app. There is a lot that it can do to support a teacher and a child in their teaching learning journey.